Good evening. It is Wednesday again, so our comprehensive news package is on the runway to take you to the length and breadth of the nation, treating developing stories, issues of the moment, reviews and interviews with the professionalism and the extra diligence you deserve. Tonight, Nigeria's ever-expanding potentials in oil is under consideration as the House of Representatives discusses bidder basing. Wealth beneath the surface. Nigeria's vast riches in the solid mineral sector set to be met by solid investment and expertise. On census, National Population Commission counts on citizens' desire to be counted for a successful exercise next year. On international diplomacy, more glowing feathers for President Buhari in Guinea-Bissau. From Vietnam with love, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo rekindles Nigeria's warm relationship with Southeast Asian nation. In politics, we track campaign promises from the podiums and reactions from the galleries as the race to the presidential villa gathers pace. We have these and other reports on health, the environment and sports on our lineup. So let's tuck in together. You know, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Buba and this is News Extra. You're welcome. Don't forget, you can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari is back in the country after a one-day official visit to the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that the president arrives Umar International Airport, Katsina, about 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. He was received on arrival by the Katsina State Governor, Aminu Bello Masari, and other top officials of his administration. The president then proceeded to Daura, his ancestral home, on a 4-day private visit. The last time President Buhari visited the ancient town was during the Eid al-Kabir celebrations in July this year. During President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Guinea-Bissau, he was conferred with the highest national honor of the country in appreciation of his significant leadership role and enormous contributions to peace, security, stability and democratic governance in Guinea-Bissau and the West African sub-region. 2 major roads were also named after him in the capital of Bissau. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
It was a warm and highly befitting welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari by his Guinea-Bissau's counterpart, Umar on arrival at Osvaldo Vieira International Airport for a state visit. President Buhari played a significant role in stabilizing the political and security situation in Guinea-Bissau, which faced serious threat of disintegration after the disputed 2020 elections. President Embalo, who is the current chairman of the ECOWAS, had maintained that Guinea-Bissau and its people cannot thank President Buhari enough. Consequently, a major road in the capital Bissau was named after the Nigerian leader, and his first major task on arrival was to personally inaugurate it as a mark of honor. And thereafter, at the seat of government, President Muhammadu Buhari was formally decorated by his Guinea-Bissau's counterpart, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, with the country's highest national honors award. A one-on-one meeting was earlier held between the two leaders before joining their respective countries' delegations for bilateral talks on areas of common interest for both Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. The talks were aimed at deepening and expanding relations between the two countries in critical economic sectors. President Umaru Embalo said President Buhari and Nigeria deserve much more for immensely contributing to the stability and advancement of his country, and hopes that its token of appreciation will further re-energize the relations and propel the two countries to greater heights.
He is our national hero of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, and is a good son of Africa.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appreciated the honor done to him, promised to remain steadfast in ensuring that Guinea-Bissau remains democratic, stable and prosperous.
Nigeria has on its own, as well as through ECOWAS, intervened at critical periods in the life of this country. making immense direct contributions as well as by supporting international efforts on the peace process in Guinea-Bissau. This fact has further reinforced our relations, enhanced understanding and the trust between our two countries. Let me assure President Embalo of the continued disposition of Nigeria towards sustaining and strengthening democracy and good governance in our sub-region.
During the visit, various national honors awards were also conferred on Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, the National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, the State Chief of Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazauri, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Household and Domestic Matters, Muhammad Sarki Abba.
This is really big for Nigeria because we as a country, we are making enormous sacrifices in the sub-region and on the entire continent. And I think over time it has worried Nigerians that there is no reciprocation on the part of African countries, no appreciation, for the kind of sacrifices we make in order to sustain democracy in those nations, to preserve them as entities, as states and all of that. So what has happened today in Bissau is that Guinea is saying, look, Nigeria has done so much for us under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, and that we're not shy about coming out to tell the world that we are proud to be recipients, of the enormous support given by President Muhammadu Buhari to our country.
The cordial relations between Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau dates back to the West African nation's liberation struggle from Portugal. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo ends a 3-day bilateral visit to Vietnam, President Nguyen Xuan Phuc says Vietnam prioritizes strengthening ties with Nigeria. State House correspondent Jido Onifade reports.
Climbing high, hand in hand, and with a big smile, signaling mutual respect by the two countries for each other. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo arrives at the Vietnamese seat of government and was received by the Vietnamese leader, both leaders looked back to where the journey of the two countries began, where it is now, and what the future holds. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo hails the development in the bilateral ties and says this has been deepened in a substantive and effective manner.
Just as we have said at all the meetings that I held, it is time for new level of negotiations. It is time for stronger bonds. It is time for more cooperation. It is time for more collaboration. I think we are ready to do that. We, Nigeria, are ready to work even more closely with Vietnam in business, commerce, in agriculture, technology, in various areas.
While commending the Vietnamese government for being a jolly good fellow, he says Nigeria will continue to be a worthy partner. The two agreed to exchanging of visits by leadership of both countries to raise mutual understanding and trust and enhance cooperation opportunities, especially in the economy.
There's a lot of benefits and mutual benefits that we are going to be seeing between Nigeria and Vietnam going forward.
Those in the Vice President's delegation include the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ade Ikpanye, and Ambassador Adamu Mamani Hazard of the Nigerian High Commission in Vietnam. Well, the two countries treasure their diplomatic ties, which started way back in 1976, and they have shown strong determination to create a balance of trade via a favorable conditions of imports and exports. In Hanoi, Vietnam, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Back home, our next report is a pointer to why procrastination is not a good path to toe. and it is coming from the red chambers. Senate has resolved to slash the 2023 budget of ministries, departments and agencies of government that fail to appear before its Committee on Public Accounts. Ministries, departments and agencies of government are expected to appear before the Parliamentary Committee to defend queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation and other issues, including service-wide votes. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko has that.
At the commencement of plenary, Senator Mato Regide, who is also chairman of Senate Committee on Public Accounts, raised a point of order calling for decisive action against ministries, departments and agencies of government who are yet to respond to the invitation of the committee.
I don't want to use harsh words that they have become recalcitrant, but they have vehemently refused to appear before our committee. This list of agencies and of course the amount that is attached or that's against their names that they have spent, they are staggering.
In the next 1 week, if the name of an agency is here, that agency should reach the Committee on Public Accounts of the Senate to sort out when the agency will appear before the committee. If there is no communication whatsoever and no cogent and verifiable reasons are given, we'll slash the budget.
Senate has confirmed Lanre Bajabia Miller as Director General of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission for a second and final term. The FCT 2023 budget of 502.9 billion naira passed second reading as the senator representing the FCT, Philip Aduda, drew the attention of the Senate to the release by the Central Bank of Nigeria on withdrawal limit of the redesigned Naira note and its likely effects.
Our commerce, I don't think, is ready for this, and our economy cannot take this shock.
If we want to be a cashless society, we should take time to be a cashless society, not to jump at once.
The Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill, sponsored by Senator Emmanuel Oke Jeff, and the Administration of Criminal Justice Act Amendment Bill by Senator Chukwuka Otazi, passed second reading.
What happens after you've been convicted or your convictions are affirmed by Court of Appeal and you are instantly taken into custody and you serve 3-4 years and the sentence is 4 years, and at the end of the day Supreme Court rules and set aside the judgment of the lower court? How do they compensate you?
Meanwhile, the Chief Whip of the Senate, Oji Uzor Kalu, has advised spokespersons to all the presidential candidates to desist from verbal attacks and focus on ideas and how to create jobs. He stated this when he granted audience to members of the Senate Press Corps.
People's democracy is about what we can do for the people. And I want you people to carry this message very strong.
The journalists were in his office to present him with the award of senator with the best constituency projects. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria could have an additional 40 billion barrels of oil reserves by 2023, going by studies that reveal presence of hydrocarbon in commercial quantity in the Buba Basin in Niger State. The House of Representatives is positive on this and has asked the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC to fast-track exploration activities. National Assembly correspondent reports that the representative Saidu Musa brought up the issue during plenary.
It was an exciting news for House members coming after the latest finds in Kolmani, as Representative Saidu Musa gave the narration on studies in the Buba Basin which showed a strong presence of hydrocarbon-bearing indicators confirmed as oil and gas formations.
The discovery of oil in another region of Nigeria is good news for the country's energy sector, and that if the volume of oil in the Buba Basin is established and the exploration activities commence fully, Nigeria may in the near future overtake Libya, the country with the largest oil reserve in Africa.
The House urged fast-tracking of exploration to ascertain the availability of hydrocarbon in the basin. The motion from Yusuf Gagdi urging implementation of acts of the National Assembly in relation to upgrade of colleges of education to universities was supported.
Mandate the Committee on Appropriation to substitute the Federal College of Education projects, since they don't exist anymore, for aforesaid Federal University of Education.
The President has signed an act of parliament and they are not reflecting it.
You do the proper thing by making sure it's reflected. But you also have to find out the conditions precedent.
Of course, we need synergy. We alone in the parliament cannot execute, make law execute for the good governance. We need a collaboration. And it is a collaboration with the executive that have brought us to where we are.
The budget came with the old name. Now you can chalk that down to a mistake. There's an act of parliament signed by Mr. President. There's nothing to investigate. Just change the name to what it's supposed to be.
Bill to establish Federal College of Education, Jingri, Plateau State, sponsored by Muhammad Al-Ali, and bill to establish National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Okota, in Lagos, from Abiodun Johnson, passed second reading, while 3 bills were read the third time and passed, among them bill establishing the Nigerian Peace Corps. The bill reenacting the Insurance Act with provisions to improve such business in Nigeria, sponsored by Darlington Nwokocha, was among those considered and approved at the Committee of the Whole.
When passed into law, will deepen and strengthen the insurance industry, considering the fact that there are so many obsolete clauses and sections of the existing law.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Aviation, at a meeting with the International Air Transport Association, reassured that the CBN has put in place a mechanism for the liquidation of funds belonging to foreign airlines.
The last time we met, the CBN governor also promised that there will be some releases, which we did some, and they said that with time they will be improving on the releases.
Today I got the fuel prices and the difference between how much the fuel is and how much the aviation fuel is, the crack of $50 in some countries in Africa. So we look at 1,000 things and we advocate.
The association is soliciting the release of such funds in foreign currency. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In another story, the federal government has realized over 120 billion naira in the continued fight against corruption. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed disclosed this at the 8th edition of the PMB Scorecard 2015 to 2023 series. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister announced that the over 120 billion naira is proceeds from criminal financial operations since the bill on proceeds of crime recovery management was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in May this year.
That the administration's fight against corruption is very much on track. As you may already know, Mr. President signed into law the Proceeds of Crime, Recovery and Management Bill 2022 on the 12th of May 2022. That bill was one of the 3 which Mr. President signed into law that day. The other 2 are the Money Laundering, Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022 and Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022.
The Information Minister was emphatic that the funds will be used to fund critical projects around the country.
In line with the new law, all relevant agencies of government have now opened a confiscated and for future properties account with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. I can confirm that so far, the federal government has realized over 120 billion naira, among other currencies, from poker. The money is being used to fund the completion of ongoing critical infrastructure projects in the country, like the second Niger Bridge, as well as Lagos, Ibadan, and Abuja, Kano expressways. We will continue to update you on this.
Fielding questions from journalists, the Minister of Environment, Mohammed Abdullahi, who had his turn at the ongoing PMB scorecard 2015-2023, placed the blame on ecological problems and funding on the doorsteps of other tiers of government.
Initially, the federal government handles ecological funds, but the states argued that they must be given their own share of ecological funds. The federal government accepted, and at every FAC allocation, they give their own share of allocation to states. So to come out and accuse the federal government of inaction is very unfair. Haven't gotten your fair share of your ecological funds over the years. So I find that very, very amusing, because each state is paid its share of ecological fund.
Next in line will be the turn of the Minister of Mines and Steel Development. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Humanity has become a weapon of mass destruction once, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as parties to the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, meet in Canada for the 15th conference to agree on a post-2020 biodiversity framework for the protection of nature. Onenge Femfis reports.
Climate change events are pushing planet Earth to a tipping point of catastrophe, science shows, as weather extremes continue to devastate countries around the world. It is agreed that climate change is man-made, but the consequences go far beyond, affecting the world's biological diversity and forcing many wild species into extinction. United Nations Convention on Biodiversity, CBD's COP15 in Montreal, Canada, is a global effort at forging a new deal for nature to save the planet's forests, oceans and species.
The scientists have underlined to us, this is our last chance to act. Otherwise, all of us will perish. And unfortunately, we have no planet B to go to.
Draft targets for the 10-year framework include a cornerstone pledge to protect 30% of the world's land and seas by 2030.
It's about a few days to act decisively and with principle. And action must be bold, not bracketed, so that we can get this deal done.
The official opening of COP15 follows several days of pre-negotiations that saw very little progress on key issues.
Ecosystems have become playthings of profit. With our bottomless appetite for unchecked and unequal economic growth, humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction. We are treating nature like a toilet, and ultimately we are committing suicide by proxy.
Finance is among the most divisive issues, as developing nations demand increased funding for conservation, which wealthy nations are resisting. Onenge Femfis, NTA News.
Thank you, Nengi, for that. Now, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources is mobilizing water users to take ownership of water resources at their disposal and safeguarding against harmful practices that may jeopardize both the water facilities and crop under cultivation across farming sites. Yahana Sohassan reports that this is as it pursues proactive measures at safeguarding and maximizing benefits of its multi-billionaire investments in developing water resources.
Experts have identified indiscriminate dumping of domestic waste and effluent discharges from industries as causative factors that lead to a reduction in crop yields, in addition to making food consumed raw or mildly cooked very hazardous. Concerned by this, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources deemed it imperative to hand over the management of some components of irrigation facilities recently upgraded by the Transformation Irrigation Management in Nigeria project.
The aim is to bring about 100 million Nigerians out of poverty, and the only way this can be achieved is through irrigated agriculture. And when we have that, we have to maintain the structure by not doing things that will hamper the sustainability of the irrigation facilities.
A lack of cleaning of canals, taking bath and washing in the canals, washing, spray instruments that contain harmful agrochemicals that will be dangerous for human health, and many other things that they are supposed to guard against, so that we can have a very safe water for irrigation and for consumption.
Doing this, the Minister of Water Resources, Sulaiman Adamu, says will require concerted efforts of all water users. Salamatu Ahmad is among the water users selected to be part of the sensitization program and is happy over the knowledge she acquired, hence this promise from her. I will go back home and enlighten my co-women on the dangers this pose to our crop production and our health. Authorities in the Federal Ministry of Water Resources believe that engaging people like Salamatu and traditional rulers in creating massive awareness will help reduce the indiscriminate waste discharges at all levels and the dangers associated with them. In Kano, Yahana Sahasa, NTA.
Interesting. The National Population Commission says it is re-strategizing its advocacy to ensure that census messages reach every nook and cranny of Nigeria while ensuring enhanced full participation of citizens. Oluseyi Adiabo reports that the NPC plans to take the census campaign to mass gatherings, beginning with an exhibition stand at the ongoing 43rd Kano International Trade Fair.
Population and housing census is said to be among the most complex peacetime exercises a nation can undertake. However, central to executing a census is public awareness campaigns, canvassing all households to get the people's buy-in. The Kano International Trade Fair is an annual business exhibition. Recent statistics reveal that the event attracts much more than 2 million visitors, with participants coming from within and outside the country. As a way of reaching people at the grassroots and in their numbers, the NPC acquired a census exhibition stand and is now using it to showcase the Commission's activities.
Exercise like the census, you need to explore various ways of reaching out the public who are diverse. Some, if you cannot get them on the street, if you cannot get them through the radio, you can get them through mass-oriented activities like trade fair.
In markets, people obtain latest gist and they carry it back home. And that's why we are coming to Kano, where we believe that Kano is one of the major commercial centers in Nigeria.
Platforms like this, the NPC says it will continue to leverage to strengthen its 2023 census campaigns so as to encourage participation of all citizens.
We want the message to be taken to them. The National Population Commission has gotten to an advanced stage in preparation for the conduct of 2023 population and housing census.
As Nigeria prepares for its first census in 17 years, the guiding principle of the National Population Commission is found in the slogan, "You can't be counted," emphasizing that no one will be left behind. From Kano, Oluseyi Adiabo, NTA News.
We'll take our first break now. When we return, electricity supply, tariffs and expectation will come under our lenses.
Edition of the PMB Administration Scorecard Series will feature the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Olamilekan Adigbite. Date, Thursday, 8th December 2022. Time, 10:30 a.m. Venue, National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. The event will be covered live by NTA, FRCN and VON and streamed on the social media handles of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer, Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jeffia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. Wait up, makes sense, wait care for me. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. No. The bank with you, them no go stress you. Call them, then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try up culture. Promisable investment, everything will just be blessed. Pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. premium pension day. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
Ooh, this food is delicious. Can I have my bitters now?
Okay.
What is this? Is this my bottle of bitters?
Yes. Any problem?
Any problem? No. I'm not going to take them. I want my yo-yo bitters now.
Darling, but that is bitter.
Look. Let me tell you. Yo-yo bitters, it is unique in formulation and effective in action. So take this funny stuff away and get me my yo-yo bitters now.
Yo-yo bitters is naturally enriched with ingredients that flushes out the body impurities, tackles waist pain, and resolves constipation. It is also fortified with vitamins. Yo-yo bitters boosts your body immunity against diseases and free radicals.
Because it is different in formula and action, I don't accept substitute.
Yo-yo bitters, but clean inside out.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
The federal government of Nigeria has set up a panel to investigate the menace of crude oil theft and losses in all its ramifications, including illegal connections to pipelines, pipeline vandalism, product diversion, illegal bunkering, excess loading, illegal refining, manipulation of lifting approvals, abandonment of wellheads, manipulation of records, and other related issues. The panel has commenced its sitting. Accordingly, the panel invites memoranda from ministries, departments, agencies, corporate bodies, communities, and all interested individuals and groups that will aid the panel in its assignment and in proffering lasting solution to the menace. Memoranda should be concise and precise, analyze the issues, and itemize recommendations. 10-number hard copies as well as soft copies of memorandum should be submitted physically or by courier to the Chairman, Special Investigative Panel on Oil Theft Losses in Nigeria, care of Office of the National Security Advisor, 3-ounce Zone, Abuja. Memorandum should be submitted within 2 weeks from the date of the publication of this notice. Announcer, Secretary, Special Investigative Panel on Oil Theft Losses in Nigeria.
I'm Chief Dr. Eric Umar, the Tomato King. Do you know that if you patronize Made in Nigeria, our Naira will be stronger, jobs will be created locally for all. At Erisco Foods Limited, we produce a wide range of house road brands, including Erisco, Ligico, and Nagico 100% natural tomato paste, which has created thousands of jobs for our use and support the growth of our economy. We thank President Muhammad Buhari for supporting the local tomato sector and urge government agencies at all levels to comply now with government policies on this. Are you among the ones importing or buying foreign tomato paste? You are killing yourself, the family, and the economy. If you don't stop today, you are batting and supporting evil against our nation. We thank all loyal partners since inception. We bow for you. Eat healthy, live healthy, buy Erisco products, buy Made in Nigeria. Thank you all.
Erisco Foods Limited, feeding Africans with healthy foods.
You're welcome. The harrowing experience of insurgency in the northeast leaves much to be desired. Apart from other consequences, hunger was prominent and alluding to the saying that there is nothing greater than love invested in helping to feed the impoverished living in hunger. The King Salman food donation came handy to internally displaced persons in Borno. Here is Ilyasu Ali Yakubu with the details.
1,000 households of internally displaced persons in 8 camps and host communities in Borno State are benefiting from the latest King Salman donations. The food basket of each of the household comprises a bag of rice, beans, masa vita flour, vegetable oil as well as condiment. The IDPs commended the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center for a show of support to their plight.
The
representative of King Salman Relief Center, Ali Yusuf Abdul Karim, said the center is passionate about providing relief assistance to the needy in the society. He said the center will continue to extend relief support to the victims of insurgency and banditry in the country.
This aid comes as an extension of the relief and humanitarian effort provided by the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Governor Babagana Umar of Borno State described the donation as a maximum show of love for the people in need.
Let me warn those that are in charge of the distribution exercise to ensure that this item reach the downtrodden.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, is confident that each of the households profiled by the agency will surely benefit.
As the saying goes, it is in time of crisis that real friends are identified. In this regard, the government and the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have proven to be real friends and brothers of Nigeria through their great benevolence to the country.
Aside the donation of food items to the IDPs in the northeast, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center had previously donated some digital equipment to Nema for improved productivity. From Maiduguri in Borno State, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
It's everyone there, I must say. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar has presented 2023 appropriation bill to the tune of 234,831,950,000 naira. The budget size comprises 144,175,033,000 naira for capital expenditure and 90,656,970 naira as recurrent expenditure. Mohammed Goni reports.
Budget of continuity and sustainability, the 2023 proposed budget is to be financed from recurrent revenue of 137.8 billion naira, comprising statutory revenue of 67.9 billion naira, as well as internally generated revenue of 33.1 billion naira, among others. The 2023 budget, like the previous one, is based on the federal government's fiscal focus for 2023 to 2025 medium-term expenditure framework, which is already domesticated for the first time in the state and will be facilitated by enhanced internally generated revenue as projected. Sectoral allocation shows that Ministry of Finance got the highest allocation of 30.3 billion naira, followed by the Ministry of Education with 28.2 billion naira, while the Ministry of Health and Human Services was allocated 19.9 billion naira for both capital and recurrent expenditure.
In the last few years, I have had the privilege and opportunity of benefiting the green value for voters. I have fulfilled this and still can look back and be proud of our journey so far with the fight service.
Governor Babagana Umar, who sectorally highlighted strides made in the 2022 fiscal year, said his administration intends to complete and inaugurate all ongoing projects in 2023, in addition to executing more people-oriented projects and programs across the state, and sought the support of the State Assembly and the citizenry in the quest to take the state to the next level.
We have done a lot of works in Borno State, but the most important thing that we need to do is how to sustain those good works that we did.
Speaker Borno State Assembly Abdul Karim Lan commended Governor Zulum for the all-inclusive budget, which he said will consolidate gains made in the 3.5 years, assuring speedy legislative action to enable government continue with the good work. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
A bit on the power sector now. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is engaging electricity customers and distribution companies on amicable resolution of complaints arising from service delivery and the need to improve power supply. Joshua Jito reports that the latest interface is with Abuja Electricity Development Distribution Company and its customers.
More than 1 million customers in need of electricity under the franchise of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC. Yet, consumers say it's a scarce commodity. More worrisome to customers are inadequate meters, lack of investment in electricity networks like transformers, poles, among others, by the distribution companies.
Out of 24 hours a day, we only have electricity supply for 45 minutes. I raised this issue. They appealed to us that they will look into our plight.
They are here to find answers and solutions to challenges impeding quality electricity supply.
Who will take details of your complaints and address them? AEDC is committed, to utilizing the regulations that we have, improve our service delivery to you.
Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is facilitating the conversation with a view to ensuring that customers get value for money.
It is not the responsibility of the consumers to buy transformer. It's not your responsibility as consumers to buy poles or any asset for the distribution company, because we have already provided for that cost in the tariff of the various utilities.
But there's also this very grave issue of energy theft. As much as we, obviously as the Commission, will continue to pound the pressure on Abuja to deliver service and recover the revenue, I think as consumers, we want you to also help us. If somebody is bypassing and you're aware, I think the minimum you can do is to try to stop the person from bypassing.
Beyond the complaints are rights and obligations of customers, which both parties are expected to adhere strictly for improved power supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Let's head to Asaba now. It is a promise made, promise kept in Warri Delta State, as Globalcom Limited presents various prizes, including an ultimate prize of a brand new car to have 42 Deltan customers as rewards for their loyalty. Rosemary Omani reports that the prize presentation is courtesy of the ongoing nationwide Glo Festival of Joy program.
This is the brand new car won by this lucky customer, Ubu Anthony. He says dialing *611# and frequent recharges made it possible.
It is real. This is not just, it's not one kind of gimmicks. By the special grace of God, as I'll be living here, I'm going home with a brand new car.
This subscriber's joy as well knows no bounds, as they anxiously and enthusiastically expect to be rewarded with other prizes on ground, comprising 3 generators, 5 sewing machines, and 33 rechargeable fans, making a total of 42 prizes by their favorite telecommunication company. The Warri Regional Manager, Julius Arebu, while appreciating the customers, encourages them to keep recharging and keep winning.
You're expected to do a minimum 20,000 naira for a house. For the car, you're expected to do a minimum of 10,000 naira, and for the generator, a minimum of 5,000 naira. For the sewing machine, you're expected to do 2,500, and for the rechargeable fan, 500 naira.
In line with her program, Glo Festival of Joy, Glo officially presents the prizes to the winners.
It's not okay, I'm last. In short, I don't go expect this kind of thing. I can't get call. That was on Monday. Say I'm win far.
At the end of the promo, 20 houses, 24 cars, 200 rechargeable fans, and hundreds of home appliances must have been won. From Warri, I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
And as a step up towards implementation of the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework project, which seeks to fill the existing skills gap in the Nigerian educational system, a sensitization workshop has been organized in Kano for mastercraft persons in the Northwest Zone. Umar reports that the multi-million-dollar World Bank-supported project aims at providing opportunity for skills training, assessment and certification to youths in formal and informal sector of the economy.
Statistics have shown that informal sector in Nigeria accounts for about 57.7% of the economy. However, poor exploration and exploitation skills have hindered the country from harnessing the vast potentials abound in that direction. The Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework is an instrument posited to change the narrative through the development, classification, and recognition of skills, knowledge, and competencies that will be acquired through a variety of ways by Nigerian citizens. Addressing dozens of mastercraft persons at the workshop, Executive Director NBTE, Professor Idris Muhammad Bugaji says the sensitization seeks to improve the apprenticeship system to pave the way for the establishment of various training centers in the country.
We have already done handshakes with similar frameworks across the globe, so it will be recognized globally, so that young Nigerians can move out and get good jobs, bring back foreign exchange. That's the way to help the economy. At the moment, we are importing skilled labor. Go to the oil and gas industries. Go to Ori and Port Harcourt. Most of the welders are from Philippines and Indonesia. So we need to sit up and readdress this issue of skills.
To this end, a 6th-level Nigerian skills qualification has been developed and approved, while some operational staff have been trained abroad to pioneer the institutionalization.
We have put this across, to the Ministry of Education, that for every graduate of Nigerian University or Polytechnic, he must also have one certified skill, either a welder, a plumber, POP, choose any skill, auto mechanic, rewire, panel beating, choose a skill. That's the way to go.
A similar exercise is expected to hold in all 6 geopolitical zones in the country. In Kano, Umar, NTA News.
The federal government has charged the Federal Road Safety Corps to ensure seamless traffic and movement for commuters across the country before, during and after the Yuletide. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Bas Mustafa, represented by the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, Maurice Mberi, gave this call at the 4th quarter 2022 strategic session for commanding officers held at the FRSC headquarters in Abuja. Oyemi Ajayi has that.
The road is the theatre of operation. The mandate is to maintain safety and sanity on the highways. To achieve this, strategic planning has been the bedrock.
Pay close attention to traffic control.
This is the first strategic session for the year 2022, coinciding with the fast approaching Christmas. Hence, preparations for the Yuletide sits on the front burner. With the code name Operation Zero Tolerance, the acting Corps Marshal rules out the major focus during the special patrol to include addressing critical risk factors and sanctioning of critical offenders.
Seeing that we are in the last lap of the Ember months and at the eve of Operation Zero Special Patrol Operations, commanding officers must ensure mass deployment of personnel on all traffic-prone areas and critical corridors so as to guarantee the monitoring public ease of movement on all roads.
To the government, protection of critical road infrastructure remains paramount, so the Corps must ensure reduction of crashes during the season.
To achieve this, you must clearly set your targets and engage all other stakeholders to deliver on these mandates.
Commanding officers are, however, charged to ensure maximum utilization of both human and material resources in the general operations to ensure a crash-free celebration. Oyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
From Abuja, we head to Lagos, where we hear that the closure of Eko Bridge has taken its toll on Lagos residents, as the bridge provides access to chain of markets while it is It also serves as major link between the mainland and the island axis of the city. Ruth Ario Samuel, who monitored repair work on the bridge, reports that the appeal is being made for speedy rehabilitation to safeguard business concerns.
This is not the best of time for motorists and commuters plying the Akbongbon Bridge, particularly this Christmas period, as the bridge will not be open for traffic. Traders and residents lament the closure has left them trekking long distances with an increase in transport fare. Some commuters and commercial bus drivers express sadness that they spend several hours navigating the road while awaiting repairs. They argued that despite the alternative roads provided by the state government, there is no relief in sight.
It's already blocked. All this place, there's nowhere to go. Before, we are going, when you're going down under the bridge, there's from where you will come back to locate this place. But now, the place already, tailor don't spoil everything.
They are coming in from Ifimotatia. You know, they are coming in. So this is the only place, and this is the next place they are passed.
A visit to Akbongbon Bridge shows that the emergency repair work is ongoing, with engineers working round the clock to meet the deadline of May 2023.
We will not even be up to that, but let's just put it, because we are working day and night. Work progress is very fast. As you can see now, we are almost 65% done with the work, and the remaining 35% in less than some weeks will be on the computer.
Meanwhile, the Lagos state government has assured residents of adequate traffic personnel on the alternative roads to control traffic while waiting for the completion of the bridge. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
Let's now take you to Kebbi State, where attention of all the political classes is now shifted to the 100 kilometers Koko Mahuta Dabai Road, which is quite strategic but in a deplorable condition. Ibrahim Dang Hamidu reports that concerns are on how the road could be repaired.
The 247-kilometer Koko Mahuta Dabai and Malando Road is the major entry linking the Kebbi State capital with about 5 local government areas in Zulu Emirate. The road contract was said to have been awarded by Senator Muhammadu Adamu Aliru's administration around 2006 and was completed by Usman Nasa Mudakingari administration in 2011. However, few years after its inauguration, apparently owing to some obvious factors, it began to rapidly deteriorate, hindering smooth movement, especially of farm produce, by the heavily agrarian communities it hosts.
Honestly, when the road contract was executed then, God knows there was sentiment. That is why the road was not qualitative. That is why people suffered on this road, especially during the rainy season. The time that road was constructed, if it was a good job, it wouldn't have been like this now.
The current administration of Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu requested the refund of the expended money by the previous administrations from the federal government, resulting to a controversy at the Senate chamber when 2 senators from the state alleged to have opposed the request, tasking the state to provide proof for the execution of the contract. In view of that, the Kebbi State House of Assembly Deputy Speaker and member representing Zuru constituency, Usman Mohammed Zuru, moved a motion of public urgent importance on the floor of Kebbi State House of Assembly, where he cleared the air on the issue of request for the refund by the state government.
The issue of refund has nothing to do with the present unfinished contract of Dabai Mahuta Koko Road. It is therefore unclear to impute such a wrong allegation on the governor and the senator.
Similarly, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, during the presentation of the 2023 budget, also cleared air on the lingering issue.
I've seen commentaries that the state of the road is now bad, and it's true, but they were constructed then, and it was the fund when they were constructed that was being pursued by the state.
The federal government has since awarded another contract for the construction of the road, and work is in progress. Ibrahim Mohammed Ahamidu, NTA News.
Away from that now, to a bit on security of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Police Command has commenced investigations into the reported case of security breach occasioned by armed robbery, shooting and abduction of some persons in the Kubwa location estate off Arab Road area of the FCT on Tuesday, December 6, 2022. The Commissioner of Police, CP Babaji Sunday, knows that the swift response of the command in an aggressive manhunt on the perpetrators resulted in the rescue of 3 victims and the recovery of firearms and ammunition. Meanwhile, the CP calls for calm, noting that the command has since deployed intelligence and other operational assets possible to fortify security in the entire Kubwa area and its environs. He assures that investigations have since commenced to identify the suspects and bring them to book while ascertaining their mission and motives. Let's take another breather, because in a moment we will be talking politics and the political gladiators are out in full force.
I'm about to serve better breakfast.
If you're in Lagos, you need to see this.
I'm not just filming things, I'm just escaping traffic.
Get more data to enjoy exclusive content. Dial *141# now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
My people, my name is Emeka. Mekus Kamat. Let me get all this people. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when we get bust, then my eye open. I don't know to that 419 be. Now when EFCC babam, then they come bab me too. Now he make me they warn you all up when I want to do business like me. Where they carry big money, when I go sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. They could shine in my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, when they call SCRUMO, they don't want to say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If it pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Can I go where? Bank. If you know do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen, or they go suspend your license, or they go shut them down. Pata for your hand. No talk say I know 1 year.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crying, the blood, dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path again. Let us all stand in solidarity with our armed forces, our men and women. Oh, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation, a nation that you and I can be proud of.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, don't worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely.
keeping you protected and fresh.
Picture.
Still fresh, still protected.
Feeling cool and protected.
All day confidence to get close. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula.
My son Aiden wants to be a great actor like me. How did I do? You did great. A couple of years ago is when his acting began.
Think you can play?
Yes.
Catch.
I take him to auditions and give him Twisco, our family favorite. With the right support, my boy is going to be a great actor. You got the role! Give your kids Twisco to support their big dream. Twisco, power your dream.
Thanks for staying. Political parties and candidates are always the objects of criticism in the event of any undemocratic practice during the electoral process. But just wait a minute. There is this set of people we hardly consider if elections must be credible. I mean the INEC staff. Neo Gidi was at INEC headquarters Abuja for the swearing-in of the Secretary to the Commission, Rose Anthony, and the issue of staff neutrality and credible elections dominated discussions.
Being in charge of the Secretariat of INEC is not a bed of roses, but Rose managed the engine room well for 4 years with INEC staff strength of more than 16,000. So another term of 4 years given. No election anxiety here, but smiles, pleasantries, some even tempted doing it the traditional way. Yes, a brief ceremony and the oath taking done. Time for self-examination.
In this run-up to the next general election, there's a lot of work to do, and her office is like the heartbeat, the engine room of the commission.
From the conference room, taking a second walk to our office for the second time, seated, work already started. But I asked, 23 staff already facing trial for misconduct during the PVC registration. What is your agenda to end such going forward?
Every staff of the commission understands the vision of the commission as far as 2023 general election is concerned. Yes, we all know that it's no longer business as usual, and that the staff must understand that there is a new commission. It's a new commission, and this commission is one that has zero tolerance for infraction. This election, the commission is not going back on the deployment of technology. Because it's in the law. We are guided by the provisions of the law. And
University of Westminster, London, UK trained mass communication expert Rose Arare Anthony is the first to be reappointed as secretary to the commission. She told me on a lighter note, I have made the female folk proud and I will not box below my weight. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Interesting. We wish her all the best. Now, as more groups continue to unite under the Tinubu-Shettima's joint presidential ticket for February 25th, 2023 presidential election, 2 more strategic committees have been inaugurated to steer different roles at the grassroots in the ongoing nationwide campaign. Abakar Akwanga reports that the Tinubu-Shettima Grassroots Independent Campaign Council is spearheading the initiative ahead of victory come 2023.
Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN, represented by his Vice Chairman and Minister of Environment Mohammed Hassan Abdullahi and Senator Folashade Grace Bent, are now to steer the ships of the contacts and mobilization and that of operation and organizing committees. Less talks and more actions. These are what should be seen prominent on the political landscape in the coming days. The leadership of the committees assured.
We have to evolve strategies to look at people and organizations that can add value to the success of the Asiwaju Shettima team.
These are the candidates that Nigerians must, as a matter of conscious deliberation, use their PVC to vote for.
That shows the commitment And that shows the love we all have for our party and to ensure that we support our presidential candidate come February 2023.
The composition of the committees are top politicians who believe that effective synergy will simplify the job of APC retaining power beyond 2023. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Still on political news, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar says the victory of the PDP in Osun State's last governorship election is an indication that Nigerians are prepared to back the party. Atiku was speaking at a rally held at the Nelson Mandela Freedom Park, Osogbo, Osun State. Onoto Yakubu reports.
The PDP faithful said they saw the campaign rally as a homecoming for the PDP presidential candidate, his wife, Fiti Atiku Abubakar, and a celebration of Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory in the governorship election. Governor Adeleke expressed gratitude to the people and promised quality leadership. He charged Osun indigents to give the PDP presidential candidate the same backing in February 2023.
You vote for our president, Atiku Abubakar. Let me tell you what is going to happen. Nigeria will survive. Nigeria will keep going from sign to faith.
Other national and state party stalwarts lent their voices to the call for the people of Osun to further consolidate on the foundation they have laid.
Atiku Abubakar and Governor Adeleke will work in uniform and in synergy for the continued development of Osun State.
Those who unity can do. You are united. And as a united people, you make it possible for the PDP to win the strategic seat of Osun State. The experience that Atiku Abubakar has acquired as Vice President of Nigeria for 8 years is an experience that none of them can match. And Nigeria today needs that experience.
For the candidate, Atiku Abubakar, education, security, unity of the people, and economic emancipation are prerequisites to the long yearn for development.
Vote PDP in the next general election. That is the only way you can secure your future and the future of your children. We promise you, we will not fail you.
Atiku Abubakar and his team had earlier held an interactive session with interfaith and youth groups in Osun State, where he pledged to help resolve the challenge of ethno-religious crisis that have threatened the nation's peace. From Osogbo, Osun State, Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has promised improved security and citizen-centered governance if elected president come 2023. The presidential candidate was speaking in Jalingo during his presidential campaign visit to Taraba State. Eunice Yutsa reports.
The campaign train of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, was in Jalingo, Taraba State, in continuation of campaigns for the 2023 presidential elections. The presidential candidate and his team were received at the Dambaba Sunte Airport, Jalingo, from where he moved to address party supporters at the Jolingami Stadium. Speaking on the rich potentials of Taraba State, the presidential hopeful says his presidency will explore the potentials in fullest for the transformation of the country. He particularly emphasized his attraction to the plains of Mambila Plateau, which he says he will transform to a global tourist destination. While commending the rich profile of the presidential candidate, leaders of the party called on the people of Taraba State to key into the vision of the presidential candidate. Mr. Peter Obi was also at the palace of the Emir of Muri, Abbas Njida Tafida, to seek his royal blessings. The Emir, while receiving the presidential candidate, sued for national unity and called on politicians to avoid overheating the system. The presidential candidate was also in Wukari, where he paid homage to the Akuka of Wukari. In Jalingo, Eunice Newta, NTA News.
Well, from political news, let's head to business, where Musa Abakar is standing by with business news. Musa, take it away.
Thank you, Fatima. The federal government says it's committed to bringing back dominant tanneries and luring more capital into the nation's tannery industry. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, said this at a meeting with National Steering Committee on the implementation of National Leather Products Policy, led by its chairman, Professor Muhammad Kabir Yakubu. Katagum said that the ministry had decided, in accordance with its mandate, to start the machinery needed to revive the sector. She said the ministry will use its agencies to ensure viability of the sector. Currently, just 18 out of 40 tanneries are operational, with a total in-store capacity for processing 250,000 skein per day up to wet blue level. Now to energy, oil edged to its lowest since the start of the year in volatile trading after U.S. government data showed an unexpected large build in fuel stocks, feeding fears about demand in a market already spooked by an uncertain economy. Brent futures for February delivery fell $1.62 to $77.73 a barrel, a 2% loss earlier. U.S. crude fell 24% to $72.45 per barrel during the session. Brent hits its lowest since January 3rd. It's another day of gain for investors in the equities market. The all-share index advanced by 0.12% at 48,426.49 basis point. A total turnover of 146.2 million securities valued at 3.3 billion naira were traded in 2,810 deals. Equity capitalization increased to 26.3 trillion naira. FBN Holdings, Geregu Power PLC and Zenith Bank were the most traded stocks in terms of volume. And that's a quick look at business news. Fatima, it's over to you now.
Well, thank you so much, Musa, for the business package. Now let's talk about a lady that gave her best and never relented in pursuing a crown from the Nigerian Media Merit Awards. And this edition, she was crowned the Queen of Newscasters in Nigeria. Who is this NTA jewel? Abdullahi Mohammed unveils her.
They call it. So 20,000 times 7 is what this women are going to get today.
On the field and Amazon, back in the studios, a queen of queens on the throne of NTA's weekly news magazine, The News Extra. Here she exudes flamboyant style in serving the scoops of stories in 4 worlds of homes across the world.
Let's head to Lagos, where performing artists have stepped out in their numbers.
These did not earn her the Queen's crown, but the Queen's English, which echoes her name within the 4 corners of the prestigious Eco Hotel and Suites in Lagos. It was the Nigeria Media Merit Awards, which she relentlessly slots in, making the list of those called the previous edition, but not mentioned in the list of the few chosen. This edition, however, she came tops the hierarchy of newscasters across the country.
And the winner is Fatima Umar Buba, NTA.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
As a television newscaster, winning this award, you know, it's like the peak of everything. And you see the caliber of people winning, you know that, yes, this is meritorious. So I'm very, very happy. I'm very excited. You know, I don't know what to say. I'll just have to say thank you so much, NTA family.
Fatima Umar Buba has brought the crown home, making NTA proud.
It's heartwarming that NTA finally is getting back to reckoning. We need more of these kinds of outings.
She has since put the award where it belongs and back on her throne, serving the Queen's English once again. Who knows whether the red carpet will roll out for her in places we never thought. Congrats, Fatima.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, NTA family, and everyone out there watching. I thank you. Another commercial break beckons. In the next segment, health correspondents will focus on some unhealthy practices. There are also some tips on coping with Harmattan.
He falls sick so frequently and misses school often. I keep him away from junk food.
He also feeds me apple. She said an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then use Dettol soap. Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
In a third final in 20 years.
Briefly out of this road, now you can get a GoTV decoder, GoChannel, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
ITM, developing the nation's human resource.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. Go do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Oh, yeah. Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up.
Good to have you back on News Extra. Let me ask you, do you remember that popular hit of Fela? Different fever, naim day, malaria fever, ide, yellow fever, unko, ide. That resonates as we shine the spotlight on bleaching in this next report. The quest for beauty and beautiful skin knows no boundaries and extends across race, sex, and all age groups. Ironically, the desire for fair or light skin has become a global phenomenon, especially among the dark-skinned populations. In this report, Haman Jabani takes a look at the dark side of skin lightening, now negatively impacting human health.
Increase in the desire by dark-skinned people to acquire a lighter skin across the globe. This has given rise to different skincare and cosmetology merchants across the globe. This mixture cosmetics are usually applied to the human body or any specific part in the name of cleansing and beautification, mostly to promote attractiveness, bleaching, or skin lightening cosmetics like scrubs, pills, soaps, injections, chemicals, and even laser therapy are some of such to remove dark areas from the body without putting into consideration the possible side effects.
Naturally, I use natural products. There are times I go to the market, I use black soap, buy some of the ingredients and I mix them myself. But today I get to realize that you have to be very, very mindful of the chemical components.
The situation, the bleaching cream people are using today, I can use the word irritating.
This situation regrettably has far-reaching diverse effects on health and individual finances, and this in return has enriched unscrupulous stakeholders in the value chain.
One of the dangers of this skin bleaching and the rest of that is that if you remove the melanin, because if anything happened, the skin needed to be stitched, maybe there's surgery, they needed to stitch that very particular person, it would be nearly an impossibility.
So for each cosmetics like soap, they will tell you how to use it. So it's always indicated on the label, the direction for use. So stick to that direction for use and you shouldn't have any problem with any cosmetic product.
In the sub-Saharan Africa, skin lightening, observers say, have been prominent for about 5 decades, with a prevalence of 40 to 70% among the population across gender.
You should ensure that products that you are using have been reviewed and approved and registered by NAFDAC, and to make sure that you source your products from legitimate and credible sources, and that you do not use products for which you do not know what they contain.
In February 2021, Nigerian Senate, during one of its plenary, resolved to ensure regulation that will control the formulation and distribution of cosmetics, especially bleaching creams, and directed NAFDAC to regulate the production and sales of such creams in Nigeria, as well as maintain product database, and to also sensitize and create more awareness on the ills of harmful substance.
You know, equip the people with the right information and try to wipe off what we call public ignorance, because there's pervasive ignorance around this issue and everybody is involved, because all of us use cosmetics and there are outright people go outrightly going there to harm themselves. They know outrightly. In fact, they go out looking for the bleaching creams. But there are people who are very innocent. They do not know.
Medical experts are of the view that the obsession for fair skin needs to be dealt with while creating a society where dark-skinned men and women are respected in all ramifications. Hamman Germany, NTA News.
It's surprising. We all know that black is beauty. So I don't know why people do bleach. Well, have you noticed the change in the weather? Hot or sunny during the day, but hazy and windy in the morning and night in some parts of the country, especially the northern axis. In this climate, it is called Harmattan, an off-season for most people with pre-existing health conditions. However, worry not, because Salwa Khalil Ibrahim in this next report is standing by to take us through what we need to do to overcome the health challenges associated with the season.
This is a typical weekly thrift market in Abuja. One of the most sought-for items during this period are jackets and other kinds of heavy clothing to keep the body warm.
We are going to Roger HR country. This will hold you for summer, for winter, for anything, for snow.
This is when sickle cell and asthmatic patients will have to take extra shield.
Allergic to cold. So that sometimes affects me health-wise. So one of the things I do during this period is that I make sure I'm always with my sweater, I'm always with my cardigan. And another thing is that my lips get broken during the Harmattan season.
Like body pains, when you want to wake up in the morning, you find it difficult to stand up. And moreover, some are having running nose, maybe because of the dust. And that's why I'm having my nose mask.
No thanks to global warming, extreme weather conditions, a moment that tells a lot on human health.
The weather is cold, it's windy, and the wind carries a lot of dust, both big and small, from the Sahara Desert. So you tend to have different organs that affect, for instance, the skin. The skin tends to be dry, you tend to have cracked lips, cracked feet, cracked hands, and sometimes we have even nosebleeds. Okay, in terms of other health effects could be in terms of the frequency of respiratory tract infection, like you have the upper respiratory tract, like catarrh. People tend to cough more, they sneeze more.
To remain fit, there are the challenges posed by the season. Here are some health tips.
If you are allergic or asthmatic, you probably want to, it would be good for you to wear a mask to prevent the dust particles from getting into your nose. If you are prone to respiratory tract infection, you probably want to wear masks around. You want to stay indoors as much as possible. For dry skins and people with what we call allergies or sensitive skin or atopic eczema, you would want to moisturize your skin all the time. You want to use emollient moisturizers frequently, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, to keep your skin moist, to prevent them from cracking. And if you suffer nosebleeds, you'd probably want to moisturize your nose with emollient and to keep the epithelium lining of the nose covered.
Drinking lots of water to stay hydrated. Warm clothing is essential, but if you can't afford one, it is not too late to go to the open store or what money referred to as bend down select. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Thank you, Sawa, for the tips. Following the arrest of popular singer Oladipo Oyebanji, popularly known as the Banj, by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission over alleged diversion of NPA funds, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has responded to the matter. Ruth Aguele reports.
When I first heard that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has arrested the popular singer, The Banched, over alleged diversion of funds meant for NPA beneficiaries, a lot of questions readily come to mind. What is the correlation between The Banched, a singer, and the NPA program? If we recall, the NPA program was created by the federal government in 2015 to address the issue of unemployment and empowerment for youth. And over time, there has been consistent of complaints of non-receipt of monthly funds by some beneficiaries. So a lot of questions begging for answers, which we're about to clarify now.
When it came to our notice that there may have been sharp practices by some personnel of the payment service provider involved in the payment processes of the beneficiaries, the matter was immediately referred to ICPC. To this end, we are in close collaboration with the ICPC to support the successful determination of the investigation. In the meantime, we have carried out thorough reinforcement of our systems to eliminate all anomalies and prevent similar occurrences in the future.
In its bid to ensure transparency and accountability of the NPA program and other social investment programs, the ministry assures that it will continue to involve other MDAs and security agencies to ensure compliance with the various social investment programs. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Sports update is next with Chukunoso Mwabweze.